Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Happy holidays. I hope you guys had a great Christmas. Today is the 26th and I'm sort of just recouping from yesterday. Today's video is going to be more of like a nighttime sewing session. I really wanted to make a cute last minute holiday top for New Year's Eve because even though I do probably have other things I could wear, I really wanted to make something new. So I'm planning on making this really cute asymmetrical top out of some velvet fabric that I have remaining from the dress that I just made in my past video. And if you haven't seen that yet, you can definitely check it out. I'll put it like right here. And that's also a really quick tutorial that you can also make if you don't want to make this top. And it's super cute and it's like really easy, so definitely check that out if you would rather make a dress instead of this top. But yeah, I'm gonna reuse the fabric from that project. This top that I'm making is actually a top that I made back in the summer. If you don't remember, I'll put a little like screenshot of the video here. I made this asymmetrical top in July and it was out of this orange organza fabric, which was so beautiful and I really loved wearing it in the summer. But since it's winter holiday season, I decided I'm going to use velvet for this project. So yeah, if you want to see how I make this top, definitely stay tuned. And if you haven't already, subscribe so that you can stay up to date with all the other videos that I make. I love to make fashion sewing videos and just teaching people how they can also make their own clothes from home. Don't forget to share and comment below how you end up liking the final product of this sewing project. So yeah, without further ado, we're going to get straight into the video. Literally like a few hours ago, I just sketched out the top, so I had a visual of what I wanted, and this is how my sketch turned out. I'm actually planning probably to wear it with that black denim skirt that I made a few videos back. I thrift flipped the denim and made it into this high-low denim skirt, I guess you could say. Check out that video also if you haven't seen it. But yeah, so I'm probably gonna wear it with that, and if I don't wear it with that skirt, I'm probably just gonna wear it with some black jeans. But the first thing that you will need is, I would say, at least a yard of fabric. You really don't need that much fabric, honestly. Even maybe like a half a yard is enough because it's like small pieces. So yeah, half a yard to a yard of fabric. And for the ribbon, I would say, depending on how big you want your bows, is how much ribbon you should use. I'm probably going to use like probably 3 yards of ribbon, just because I like to have my bows a certain size, which is usually like a medium kind of size. So yeah, and then all you need is your thread and your sewing machine, and we can get started. Okay, so I am using scraps, like I said. This is like the remainder fabric I have from the dress I just made. So for this project, I'm using the patterns that I made from the last one. I didn't end up using pattern paper because I just didn't, but I do have to eventually make like paper versions of these. But anyway, I'd have to cut out 2 of all of these pieces. So I'm really just trying to like map out everything so I have enough. But I definitely do have enough fabric. I'm just trying to make sure it's all going in the same direction, because I forget if I said this in the other video, but if you are cutting on velvet fabric or fabric that has a pile, you want to make sure that you're cutting it in the same direction so that the shine doesn't look off whenever it's finished. So velvet usually runs down, as you can see, and you can also tell because if you run it up, you'll feel like a different texture, but if you run it down, it's smooth, which is how it should feel. So I have to cut 2 of each of these pieces. So I'm gonna just cut those out, and then literally the sewing process is gonna take like not even like 2 hours. Hopefully it doesn't take that long because it's really just straight stitching. So, and then hemming everything. Okay guys, disregard what I just said. I actually only have to cut one of each. I forgot that when I draped this, I draped around the whole body, so I only have to cut one of each pattern piece because it fits with everything. So yeah, I have more than enough. This is basically the rest of the pattern pieces I have to cut out, and then I can get to sewing. Also, I want to mention that if you do not have a dress form to drape something on or aren't too familiar with pattern making yet, you can also just clone a shirt that you have. I would clone a regular t-shirt or a tank top, so then you could just cut it in a asymmetrical shape, and then from there literally just trace out around that and cut it in the shape that you want it, and then you can stitch the style lines, which would be these lines, so that you have that to show on the front and the back. But if you guys do want me to eventually come out with a pattern for this shirt, I can also do that so that it's a lot easier for you guys. But you can also make this top by just replicating or cloning a shirt you have and then cutting it with that asymmetrical line at the bottom hem. So these are all the pattern pieces, and now I can cut everything together. So just so that I don't get things confused, I'm going to keep my muslin on top of the fabric as I'm cutting. Well, not as I'm cutting, but like as I'm picking up each piece before I cut it. But yeah, so it'll be center front to the two side fronts, and then center back to the two side backs, and then the front of the shirt to the back of the shirt, basically. But you guys will see that in the next clip. So as I said, now your pattern pieces are cut out, and all you have to do is sew everything together. So I just laid everything out in the order of which you should be sewing it in. This is the back of the shirt, and this is the front of the shirt. On the original one I made, the orange one, I did make it where I had a lace up on the side, but since this is 4-way stretch, I'm not going to be doing that. I'm literally just going to sew all the sides together because it'll be stretchy enough to pull over you. So first we're going to sew the side back left to the center back piece. Then we're going to do the center back piece to the side back right. Then we're going to do the side back right to the side front right. Then we're going to do the side front right to the center front. And then we're going to do the center front to the side front left. I know it's a little confusing, but you're literally just sewing each of those lines together basically. And then after all that, it'll fold in half, and you'll see that little asymmetrical part actually come out as you guys sew the whole thing together. And then the last steps will be sewing the front to the back, which will be this seam right here to this side front seam right there. And I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, this will be your side front on your left side. So yeah, that'll be literally the whole sewing process of how to put together. And then after that, we're going to hem everything. I could do a bias binding, but I think I'm going to hem everything because, yeah, I'm going to do that instead. So yeah, let's just get to sewing everything together, and then I'll show you guys how it looks before I hem everything. So I finished the base of the top, and now I'm gonna add the bows. I have this black ribbon that I'm probably gonna end up using. I was trying to figure out how I wanted the ribbon to go on the top. I was experimenting a little bit, but I don't really like how I was experimenting. So I'm gonna go back to the original idea, which was just adding like little bows around the front. So I'm gonna use this ribbon. I think it's like a 1/2 inch wide, and it's just some satin ribbon. So yeah, I'm gonna do that, work on that, and then the top is finished. So I'll show you guys once I finish hand sewing all the little bows on the front. Okay, so I finally figured out the size. I'm thinking of doing all the bows this size because I think it's a good enough size to get like a few on here. Probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna like play around with it, but I think that's a good size. So I'm gonna keep cutting out the ribbon, pin them on the shirt to see where I want them to be, and then just get to hand sewing all the ribbons on the shirt.